Can I ask you about the mechanics of how it works? Just because, and I don't mean the code, but actually just because this is a business strategy related kind of podcast and interview, is it a freemium model? Is it paid subscription? Or is it just completely free? I'm just trying to get a feel for.
Yeah, so it's freemium. It's free to download and to try. All of the features are free except for the 3D model. So the app, there's a couple of ways you can use it. You can either record your symptoms just using a simple chart interface where you're just plotting points on chart. But I thought the freemium model just seems to be the one that makes most sense at the moment.
Okay.
Allowing people to try and to spend time just playing around with the app, and
Yeah,
then
makes sense. Yeah.
if there's the one killer feature, it's that one. It's this one that I've created where you can rotate this 3D model
Oh,
around.
nice.
So
Yeah.
I call it a 3D mannequin.
Yeah. Got you.
It's a model of a person, and you can rotate it to zoom in on a particular body area that you want to record your symptom for, and you drag your finger over the model to say this
Oh,
is
nice.
where I'm feeling pain right now. And it looks great. When I got that to work, I thought, yeah, there's something about this. It makes it real. There's something about having an invisible illness.
Yeah.
There's one of the really difficult things about it is the fact that it's so difficult to communicate. I found that's the thing that people seem to love. When I was beta testing it and trying out different ideas and different versions, when I created that one, people just seem to really like that. So I decided that's the one that, if
It's the
anything,
USP.
people will hopefully be willing to pay for.
Because I imagine that this is usable for a lot of different conditions as well.
For sure, yeah. I mean, so I thought, yeah, I mean, in theory, it could be used for any condition, and particularly ones that have a physical nature, but not necessarily. So you could also record something like fatigue, which you wouldn't use the 3D mannequin, you would just use the chart. Initially, I was thinking, yeah, let's target everyone with a chronic condition. But after learning a lot about businesses and how to start up a business,
Yeah, you want
and
your
learn the
minimum
importance
addressable
of
market.
focusing. Yeah, I realized I needed to be niche, at least initially, and focus on what I knew. And what I knew was ankylosing spondylitis specifically. So to begin with, what I'm really doing is I'm marketing it and targeting people with ankylosing spondylitis. This is the app for you.
I've got you. Can I ask
And
you a question?
yeah, of
Is
course.
it just you? Obviously, it's the whole premise of this. Is it just you in the business?
It is, yeah, it
Well,
is.
that's cool because me, same. Because what I was going to say is that what that allows you to do, because you have lower overheads than if you had a team of 4 people, is actually create something which is more fit for purpose for your particular audience, because you don't have to charge more money and therefore price yourself in the market because you don't have to cover more overheads. And, I would imagine, I'm going to think out loud, is that would it be like £1 a month to stay on the app and with the system, or is it a one-off fee? I'm just trying to figure
No,
out.
it's a monthly subscription.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I decided that because a one-off,
Yeah, it wouldn't
it's
work.
just
The
not
business case wouldn't.
sustainable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if you could
it,
get 50% of the people in the UK, that for your business, you could, or even if you got 20%, etc., you could actually make a very good business from that because you've got low overheads. And then actually from your did you do the design and app development and everything yourself? Have you kind of bootstrapped it?
yeah, everything has been just me. And there's a few reasons for this strategy. What one again is the nature of my condition, so I have to work around that, and it's much easier to do that when it is just me. I mean, it's the reason I left my job, because having to cancel meetings at the last minute, and I never know when I'm gonna have a flare up. I never know when I'm going to be just taken out of action or have a bad day. And that's why I started thinking about starting up a business. It just seemed, I mean, on the one hand, you think, when you think about people starting a business, you think about, you know, working 20 hours a day and 7 days a week, and just these
Depends on the
death
business.
marches.
But
And
again, but that's not, it depends. And this is the
it's
big
but
thing that I always like to talk about. It depends if you know what the goal is that you're actually working towards. Because in some ways, for me, the goal is to work 4 days a month, and that's it. That's the dream. So
Yeah, I mean, I realize that this just isn't true. This idea of, to start up a business, you have to be, working at insane hours and just be absolute total commitment. It actually depends on what other support you
yeah,
have. It depends what you can afford to do, what you can't afford to do.
so your time scale as well. You know how
Yeah,
quickly
yeah.
you want to get to launch.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, I'm very fortunate that I had worked in IT for a number of years before I started this, so I've got a bit of savings.
mhm,
And I've got supportive family around me who are able to, support me while I've been working on this for the past couple of years.
mhm.
And just eternally grateful for that. And I realized that not everybody will be able to do that. So, and what works for me won't necessarily work for everyone, for sure. But
Did,
what I found is that it's allowed me to achieve something that I never thought I would have been able to achieve. I had I had a really bad year one year where I was basically, I was bedridden for about 8 months, with severe pain.
wow.
And I could barely get from the bed to the sofa every day. That was like the most active thing that I did. And I seriously thought, I'm not sure if I'd ever get back to work again, ever. If this continues on as it is, I just, that's
Mm.
it. Um, and to look back on that to where I am today, I'm literally launching an app today, which, I still don't know if it'll be successful or not, because the plan for the next few months is to measure
Mhm.
and test what people think of it.
But
Do
but
people
say
use it?
on
Do
that
people pay for it?
is that because I'm going through the same process when I'm not working for other people, I'm doing my own stuff. And actually, I've got a vision in my head of what I want to launch. And ironically, and I say this to a lot of people, as long as I'm happy that I've done the best I could, as of say for you today or for me when I launch it, I don't care what happens next. It's whether I think and I'm proud of it and I've done my best. And actually, it's really great to speak to you today because today is your day that you've kind of took that jump, and it's I imagine it feels good. See it live. Have you had your first
Yeah,
download
yeah,
yet?
yeah. It's quite emotional, really. When I just look back at the journey, and it's on the one hand, it's only just starting, really.
Mm-hmm.
I know that this is just the start, because I know that, um, creating something like this that's successful requires constant iteration
Yeah,
and listening to people, listening to feedback,
I think that's
changing your ideas,
the
not,
community side to it is when it can really take off.
yeah, yeah. So I'm going to be looking to social media to promote and to make people aware of it, and to connect with people who have ankylosing spondylitis, to try it and get to know what their lives are like, how the app might help them, what won't help them. So there's a lot still to do,
Okay.
but I think for today, yeah, for sure, I'm just happy with, I've gotten this far, and it's amazing,
No, it's
really.
awesome.